Hello everybody, this is the KMN 1971, back again with another comic book collection spotlight video, number 3. That was kind of hard to say for some reason. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I just realized that I went over 100 subs, so thank you very much, as always, for everyone that bothers to watch me ramble about comics for a little while, and thank you for all the comments, the likes, and all the overall support. So it's a great place to be able to come here and just geek out about comic books for a while. Okay, moving on. This will be the last part of my DC quote unquote keys, semi keys, and whatnot. So this will be from S to W. Starting off with one of the first books I showed in my very first YouTube video, Sandman #1. Great stuff. Still love it. Sandman #2. #3. And as I've said before, I've shown these before, so I'm just going to shoot through them pretty quickly. Sandman #4, the first appearance of Lucifer. Sandman #8, first appearance of Death. And Sandman #22, first appearance of Maze and Daniel. The Shadow #1. And another comic that I was very happy to just pick up this year, DC Showcase, Teen Titans, #59. This is the third appearance of the Teen Titans. And as you'll see later on in this video, I'm a pretty big Teen Titans fan, as I've stated multiple times before. Okay, moving on. We have Strange Tales. Oh, actually, excuse me. Strange Adventures, #207. Iconic Neil Adams cover. Unfortunately, I bought this probably about 2 years ago, but this is only maybe a VG at best. After I opened up the book, it can barely stay together. So, but it was worth the price. I only paid like $5 for it, and $5 for that classic Neil Adams cover is well worth it. Okay. Suicide Squad #1 from Volume 1. Suicide Squad #6 from, what is that, Volume 3 from the New 52? The origin of Harley Quinn, which is basically her old origin with just some slight tweaks. Suicide Squad #7. And now we're going to be getting into the Superman books. Now, as I've said before, or as I clumsily said before, let me get this out of the way. This will fundamentally be in alphabetical order, aside from the one book here and there that kind of is just filed the wrong way. But when it comes to major franchises like Batman, Superman, and the X-Men, as I said in the first video, or had a hard time saying in the first video, I try to alphabetize all of these comics together. So basically Action Comics, Superman, Man of Steel, DC Comics Presents. I try to lump all of those together in somewhat alphabetical order, just for the fact, so if I'm looking for a Superman storyline to read, all of my Superman comics are basically all together in one box or two boxes. And the same goes for my X-Men titles, Spider-Man titles, and Batman titles. So, starting off, my phone, sorry about that. All-Star Superman #1, Neil Adams variant cover. Awesome stuff right there. Obviously, you know by now that I am a very biased pro Neil Adams fan. DC Comics Presents #1. Just a solid, great book to get from, what is that, the Bronze Age? Copper Age? Bronze? I believe it's still the Bronze Age. Here's a total jewel in my collection. DC Comics Presents #26. Sorry about that again. Superman and Green Lantern, but as we all know, the the meat on the bones of this book is the first appearance of the new Teen Titans. Can't be an 80s kid without having the first appearance of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe in DC Comics Presents number 47. A really good copy, except it just has a slight color break right there. It's almost a dog ear, but not quite. It's thinking about it. DC Comics Presents number 49. Just an early appearance of Black Adam, I guess. DC Comics Presents 87, the first appearance of Superboy Prime. Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, well, starring the Legion of Superheroes. 197. This was originally the Superboy title, and this is the first time, this is the title that the Legion of Superheroes would eventually end up taking over. But this was the first time, I guess the Legion was on hiatus for a little bit, and they returned in this title as backup stories originally, and then they just implemented them into the main story. So this is the first time that the Legion of Superheroes actually appeared in the title. And notice this was drawn by Dave Cockrum, who is also known for drawing another character named Wolverine. Pretty similar. And I believe this predates Giant Size X-Men. I'm not sure. One of the true comic historians here on YouTube would probably be able to elaborate on that. Sucker for anniversary issues, and this is, when I saw this was just a high grade Superman number 300. No real, it's not a real key issue. There's nothing really significant that happens. It's just one of those what if stories, basically. But just really cool to have Superman number 300 in such a really cool high grade. And my all-time favorite Superman cover of all time, Superman number 233. We all know it. The iconic Neil Adams Superman breaking the kryptonite chains cover. Awesome. That's just incredible. That's the kind of cover that you look at a couple of times. Alright, moving on. Another Neil Adams cover, and actually needs a new bag now I think about it. But Superman 317. Classic Neil Adams. And once again, this is a Superman story that everyone should have in their collection. Superman Annual number 11. Classic Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons, the creators at the creative team of Watchmen. This is before Watchmen, and this is the classic Superman story for the man who has everything, I believe, and it's just great. There's been a version redone in the old Justice League Unlimited cartoon, and I believe they did a version of this on the Supergirl show, but that's just something I've heard about. I don't actually watch the Supergirl show. Superman number 50, another book I've shown before. Awesome Del Otto variant cover that connects with Batman number 50. Superman Adventures number 5. First appearance of Livewire. Still love this variant. Superman American Alien number 3. I forget who actually drew this cover, though. I'm sorry. That's embarrassing. But a little side note. Now, Superman's origin, depending on how long you've been reading comics, has been pretty much done to death. So at first, I avoided this storyline because how many times can I read Superman's origin? But after hearing such positive reviews, I ended up checking the first couple of issues out, and I ended up buying the whole miniseries. If you're looking for a great Superman story with an original take on his origin, this would be the place to go. Superman American Alien, it was great. Probably the best. This and Superman Unchained would probably be the best Superman stories that you'll get during the New 52 era, in my opinion. Superman the Man of Steel, number 18, the first appearance of Doomsday. Superman Unchained, Neil Adams variant cover of, well, Superman breaking kryptonite chains again. But if it worked the first time, why not, right? I bought it. Swamp Thing #1. I bought this probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Needs a bit of a pressing, but how could you turn that away for 15 bucks? I bought this one probably about 3, 4 weeks ago. Swamp Thing #10. I would eventually like to fill in that whole Len Wein, Bernie Wrightson run on the original Swamp Thing. That would be pretty cool. It's a run that I embarrassingly don't own as of yet, but it's on the list. Swamp Thing #20, a very important book in my opinion. This is Alan Moore's first work on the Swamp Thing, as most of us know, and definitely a staple in my collection. Very important book as far as I'm concerned. And then there's Swamp Thing #21, the famous anatomy lesson issue where everything we knew about Swamp Thing was turned upside down, and it was a great thing, sparking one of the greatest runs of in comics of all time. Once again, just in my opinion, it's finally remembered, 20-something years later for a reason. That only happens with the great runs. Swamp Thing number 37, first appearance of John Constantine. Swamp Thing #50. People say this is the first appearance of J.L.A. Dark. I tend to disagree. I'm not going to argue with anyone. I mean, if that's the reason it will bring up the value of my Swamp Thing #50, hey, I'm all for it. But in my honest opinion, it's just a team-up issue, and it doesn't really have anything to do with J.L.A. Dark. Teen Titans #9. Just some nice high-grade Silver Age Teen Titans issues coming up from Volume 1 that I've shown before, so I'll probably try to shoot through these pretty quickly also. Teen Titans #11. #12. Another one that I just picked up a couple of weeks ago, Teen Titans #20, which features art and story by Neil Adams. Another book from my very first run that I showed, Teen Titans #25. This is the first appearance of Lilith. A book I just showed last week, but I figured why not show it again, just because Teen Titans #1 from the early 2000 series, just one of the great runs, great modern runs. Jeff Johns, Mike McCone, and an outstanding Mike Turner variant cover. Fantastic. One of my favorite books from my childhood, The New Teen Titans #1. Pretty close to mint. It has a slight stain or discoloration that you have to be right up on it to see it. Other than that, this is a pretty bone white copy. No spine ticks. Fantastic. Love this book. Teen Titans #9. This is a cameo appearance of Deathstroke, the Terminator. And this will be Teen Titans #10. It features Deathstroke, the Terminator's second full appearance. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Okay, starting to wind down. Some minor Teen Titans. Teen Titans #26, the first appearance of Terra. And Tales of the Teen Titans #44. When the Teen Titans ended up going, when they started Volume 2 for the quote-unquote Baxter series, the regular Teen Titans series changed from the New Teen Titans to Tales of the Teen Titans, and it published original stories for about a year, and then it went into reprinting the Baxter series, the direct market sales series of the Teen Titans. So, Tales of the Teen Titans #44, The Judas Contract, probably my all-time favorite Teen Titans story. And this is the first appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing, the first appearance of Jericho, and it features the origin of Deathstroke the Terminator. a very worthy key for anyone's collection. And these books were like dollar bin books for the longest time. I'm so happy that they're finally getting the credit that they deserve. They were always viewed as, this has always been viewed as a classic run, but they were printed at such high rates, well, at such high numbers rather, that it took a long time for these books to gain any value. But I'm glad that they did, finally. I will probably do a future comic books collection spotlight featuring just that run of the Marv Wolfman, George Perez Teen Titans. That's pretty much a guarantee. V for Vendetta, #1. Classic. Not the first appearance of V. That would be in Warrior Magazine #1, which was a UK mag, black and white. But this is great to have. This is one of my all-time favorite Alan Moore stories, without a doubt. Minor key, but still, love it. Enter the World of the Warlord, Warlord #1 by Mike Grell. Watchmen #1. I have this entire run. I own the entire Before Watchmen series also, which was hit or miss, but there were some good stories to be had in there. And this is just a book that everyone should own in their collection. Just outstanding, chock full. Whether you love classic storylines, which this is a classic story, timeless in my opinion, or if you're just from the collector's aspect, it is chock full of first appearances in here. I also have that Dr. Manhattan #4, but I'm not going to show that off. I just figure that's a quick flip book. I don't really consider that to be a key, and I think that one, like, its days are numbered. But still good to have. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it has interior art and covers by Adam Hughes, and a great story, so I would pick it up. Wonder Woman #90, another book that I've shown off before, but I figure why not show it off again. First appearance of Artemis. And right here is a very interesting book. I did a little research on it before I purchased this because, as I said before in the past, I was on a hunt to get the first Neil Adams interior Batman work. And believe it or not, this would be it. World's Finest, #175. Now, I might be wrong on this, and if someone can correct me, that would be cool. But according to Wikipedia, hold on, let me just pull up the page. So, it says here on Wikipedia that Adams was soon assigned his first superhero covers, Action Comics 356, and Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, #79. Now, here's where the confusion comes in. The first work that Neil Adams did on a Batman title was Detective Comics, #369. But he actually didn't draw the main Batman story. He drew the backup of the Elongated Man. So his first work on two characters that he would be well known for, his first interior work would be on World's Finest, #175, dated May 1968. That would be this book. And if that's the case, if this is Neil Adams' first interior work on Batman and Superman, this would be a highly underrated book, in my opinion. I ended up picking this book up for like $5 last year. So, I mean, it's very early Neil Adams, don't get me wrong. Like, much of his Silver Age work, he didn't really hit his prime, I don't think, until like the early 70s. But how could you not want to have Neil Adams' first interior work where he draws Batman and Superman, and they're together, no doubt, no less. So, keep your eye out for this book. Keep an eye out for this book, definitely. Superman and the Flash, World's Finest, #199. This is one of the Superman Flash races. I forget, maybe the second. Well, I think it's the third, actually. I actually own the issue before this, but it is beat to heck. World's Finest, #223. Do you remember when they were flirting around with the idea of Batman having a brother towards the end of the Grant Morrison Batman run, and also again during the beginning of the Scott Snyder Batman run? Well, this was the first time that concept ever came to be. This is the first appearance of Batman's brother. I don't really remember much about it at all. The story is super hokey. The art is super drab. but I ended up finding it for a good deal, and I thought it was something cool to have for potential in the future, because usually when they recycle like ideas like that again, another writer will come along and elaborate on it, so you never know. And it's a really cool Copper Age Batman and Superman title to have. Alright, finishing it off with the last two top loader books that I have in top loaders for no reason, but we have the New Teen Titans, #2. This is the first appearance of Deathstroke the Terminator. And this is a book nowadays, especially after that Deathstroke news. This book has a lot of potential to go up. As long as Warner Brothers doesn't drop the ball on it, I can't rule it out if they did, but it'd be hard to screw up Deathstroke. And just from the little bit of footage that Ben Affleck showed a couple of months ago, it looked pretty damn cool. So, New Teen Titans, #2, first appearance of Deathstroke, and what I consider to be a modern key. Suicide Squad, #1. The first appearance of Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad. So another book that I just feel has a lot of potential and nowhere else to go, but I think up. So especially if they start expanding her role, and why wouldn't they want to expand her role in the DC Cinematic Universe? There's only money to be made there. So that's all I have for this week. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for commenting and subscribing, obviously. Wow, over 100 subscribers. That's incredible. Thank you so much. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you all end up getting some great comic book deals out there. I will be back next week. I'm going to take a break from these comic book collection spotlight videos. Yeah, I've been wanting to show a good old-fashioned comic book haul for a while now. So that's all I have for this week. I will see you all next week. Thank you for watching once again, and take care. See you later.